Good day, every single person in the world that is watching. My name is Albert Wille and I'm from a company called Mind Prosperity, and we are starting a new series called Reinvent Your Body, and this is part 1. So we're going to do 4 sessions on Reinvent Your Body. As far as I'm concerned at the moment, we're going to do 4 sessions. Today is session 1. We're going to speak about why people overeat. And I just want to say this, Mind Prosperity is a company that focuses on the mind, that focuses on the thinking, focuses on the emotions, and I do want to say I do individual sessions and I do it on social media platforms such as Zoom, so you can be anywhere in the world. If you want to be part of my individual sessions, you can email me if you are interested in individual sessions. My email address will be on the screen, and then please like this video, please subscribe, please leave a comment, because this helps with our algorithm and this helps us to get the video to more people, and also ring the bell so that you can be notified when we have more videos on. And I also want to encourage you to take this video and to send it to your friends, send it to your family members, because we do believe it's going to help them. So reinvent your body. And I want to start with this. You cannot reinvent your body unless you reinvent your mind. You cannot reinvent your body unless you reinvent your thinking patterns. Everything starts in the mind, everything starts in the thinking, everything starts in the imagination. So we're going to speak about overeating. We're also going to speak about different eating disorders, and we're going to mention them, but we're really going to look in depth in binge eating disorder and overeating and how we are dealing with this. Later, we're going to go into sessions to teach you, what kind of foods to eat and how to exercise to really get your body in shape. And I'll have some guest speakers. My own trainer will be a guest speaker somewhere in the near future. So let's start. And I'm going to start with definitions or descriptions. I'm not going to give the full definition because the full definition are pages long, but I'm going to look at the DSM-5 in psychology. The DSM-5 in psychology is a diagnostic criteria. So it gives you the diagnosis of something, it gives you the symptoms of something, and it gives you the treatment for something. So I took the DSM-5 in psychology and I just, I took basically the definitions and I try to make it shorter, but you can go read up on that more. And I want to say, if I mention these disorders, I'm going to start with anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder. If I mention these disorders, I want to encourage you, if you feel like you have some of the symptoms, I want to encourage you to go see a professional. I believe this video will help you, and I want to encourage you to watch the video, make notes, apply what I'm giving in the video. But if you really believe there's a problem and you're really struggling with this, I want to encourage you to get professional help. So let's dive in. Anorexia nervosa is a restriction from food characterized by massive weight loss. A person still believes he or she is overweight, although this person is significantly underweight. So a person with this disorder or that's struggling with anorexia, normally they don't really know it. Other people have to tell them, listen, you are getting significantly underweight. You are getting extremely thin. You are restricting your food intake a lot, but you still believe you're overweight and you still have a problem with your body image. This is where anorexia comes in. The second one I want to explain is bulimia nervosa. It's recurrent episodes of binge eating characterized by eating in a discrete period, meaning within a 2-hour period that is definitely larger than what most individuals will eat under the same circumstances. A person also has a sense of lack of control of eating. Recurrent inappropriate compensatory behaviors in order to prevent weight gain, such as self-induced vomiting, misuse of laxatives, diuretics, other medications, fasting, or excessive exercise. So what happens when you have a bulimia is you tend to overeat a lot in a short period of time. And I'm going to tell you now where binge eating and bulimia are different. But where they are different, if I can somehow tell you right now, is with bulimia, you have this behaviors of compensation or compensatory behaviors, such as vomiting, such as laxatives, such as diuretics, such as fasting, medication, and over-exercise. Now, I just want to say this doesn't mean, when you're fasting for spiritual reasons. I'm not including fasting for like intermittent fasting. I love doing intermittent fast. This doesn't include things like, fasting for health reasons. And I know some people train during the week. They will have a cheat meal on a Saturday, for instance, and they will fast on a Sunday. That's not part of it either. When it is part of it is when you eat a lot. Binge eating, when you stuff yourself, overeat yourself, and then you use compensatory behavior as an act of guilt or shame. Because I feel guilty, because I feel ashamed, that is when it becomes a problem. So that is bulimia. What we're going to deal with is binge eating and overeating. So this is mainly what we're going to deal with in our session. So I'm gonna speak to you about what binge eating disorder is, or I'm going to give you the criteria for binge eating disorder and overeating, and this is something that we're going to deal with a lot. So according to the diagnostic criteria 5 in psychology, binge eating disorder is recurrent episodes of binge eating characterized by eating in a discrete period within any 2-hour period that is definitely larger than what most individuals will eat under similar circumstances. A person has a sense of lack of control of eating. Now, what's the difference between binge eating disorder and bulimia? Because both of them are characterized by overeating. Both of them are characterized by eating a lot of food in a short amount of time, and both of them are characterized by you feel like you cannot control what you are eating. The difference between the two is with bulimia, people use compensatory behavior, such as self-induced vomiting, laxative, diuretics, medication, fasting, over-exercising, and things like that. With binge eating disorder, people don't use this compensatory behaviors. Some of the characteristics of binge eating is eating much more rapidly than normal. So you eat very, very fast. Eating until you feel uncomfortably full. People with binge eating, or people who are struggling with binge eating, they will not stop eating until they feel uncomfortably full. And one of the reasons I'm doing this messages is I struggled with binge eating in my own life. When I was younger, I was like extremely overweight, went on diets, later got addicted to things like fat burners and supplements to keep myself thin. And I used to indulge a lot in binge eating. You will not stop eating until you feel like uncomfortably full. Eating large amounts of food when not feeling hungry. So you don't eat for nutrition, you don't eat because you are hungry, you literally eat to stuff yourself. Eating alone because feeling embarrassed about the amount of food intake. So you will eat with your family, you will eat with your friends, but when you go home, you will eat a lot of food in secret and you don't want any people to see you because you feel shame and guilt. Feeling disgusted with oneself, guilty or depressed afterwards. So after you indulge, after you overeat, you will feel extremely guilty, and because you feel guilty, you will eat more. And then lastly, this should happen once a week for at least 3 months for each. So in a period of 3 months, you have to do this at least once a week for you to be diagnosed with binge eating disorder. So this doesn't mean, Christmas I ate too much or New Year's I ate too much. It has to happen at least once a week over a period of 3 months. I'm going to speak about how I believe you can deal with this, and this is also very research based. So if you feel like you are falling under one of these categories, and I want to encourage you again, if you feel it's severe, get professional help. But I'm going to give you in these 4 parts some things that helped me and also helped other people that I spoke to who struggled with the same thing. Why people overeat? The first thing that I want to share with you in this video and other videos, we will share some other things, is a lack of self-love and a lack of self-acceptance. So a lack of self-love and self-acceptance. So you don't feel beautiful enough, you don't feel good looking enough, you don't feel accepted enough, and therefore you will just indulge. You feel like, I'm already ugly, I already don't love myself, and it almost feels like I will only love myself and other people will only love me the day I look good. But then you set this ridiculous goals of how you should look before you can love yourself, before anybody can love you. So the cure for that, you have to practice self-love before you will get healed. So you cannot say, I'm going to love myself when I look like this. You cannot say, people are going to love me when I look like this. No, you have to start with self-love. You have to start with self-acceptance. And when you love yourself, when you accept yourself, you live from that. I'm not doing something so that I can love myself. I'm doing something because I love myself. Or I can say it like this, I'm not fighting for victory, I'm fighting from a place of victory. So because I love myself, I'm going to take care of myself. Not I'm going to take care of myself so that I can love myself. What is self-love? Self-love is when you love and validate yourself without the need for external love and external validation. Meaning, I don't need others to love me for me to love myself. I don't need to look a certain way for me to love myself. I start with self-love. I start with self-love and self-validation, although it doesn't seem like I immediately get it from the outside. Self-love and self-acceptance is a starting point for your victory. Candace Van Dell, who is a spiritual coach, an author, and a speaker, said, All behavior comes from a belief, and when we judge ourselves, we run to an addictive behavior. Self-judgment, lack of self-validation causes us then to run to an addictive behavior. So if we get to that place of self-love, self-validation while we are struggling, that is where healing really takes place. So your belief system connects to your behavior. The belief system says, I am not enough. The behavior then goes to binge eating, overeating, or other addictions. When the belief system says, I am enough, the behavior will then follow the belief system. So it's very important. I'm going to say this again. Self-love, self-belief, self-acceptance, self-validation is the starting point of everything. Stephanie Lynn, who's a life coach and an entrepreneur, said self-love is shown by how we take care of ourselves. So it's very important and it's very necessary to get to that place to say, I'm going to take care of myself because I love myself. I love myself the way I look. I validate myself the way I look, and I accept myself the way I look. Because I love myself, because I validate myself, because I accept myself, I'm going to take care of myself. And that will bring you to a place where you say, listen, I desire to eat healthy. I desire to exercise. Why? Because I already love myself, not because I'm going to love myself when I do all those things. Now, by this, I'm not saying you will never get to a place where you can eat nice food or where you can go to a restaurant and eat unhealthy food. I think it's great to get to places where you can treat yourself to a nice meal that you enjoy. I love eating pizza. I enjoy cheesecake. I love rewarding myself with it every now and then. One of my friends actually told me, who's also very much, him and his wife are very much into training and exercising, and they're competing, and they said, when we eat wrong, we don't call it a cheat meal, we call it a reward meal, because we're rewarding ourselves. So even if you eat even when it's time when you eat the wrong food, where you take a meal where you could eat what you want, enjoy it and reward yourself. But that shouldn't be the norm the whole time. But we're going to speak about this again in other videos. Another thing that's very important with the self-love is gratitude. Being grateful for who you are and being grateful for where you are already. And I know some people will say, listen, you have to hate being where you are, who you are, for you to become better. You have to become better. I have to say, from my point of view, I believe it comes to a place where you have to believe you're loved. You have to believe you're accepted. You have to believe you are beautiful already. Because I believe when it comes to imagination, I teach imagination a lot. Imagination is not just I imagine something for the future so that I can get it. I believe imagination gets to that place where, like, you imagine it as if you already have it, and you connect a feeling to it as if you already have it. See yourself loved, see yourself beautiful, see yourself accepted, see yourself already the way you want to be and the way you want to look, and your behavior will eventually follow. So first, be grateful for who you are. First, be grateful for where you are, and then do what you need to do from that place. It is great to want more for yourself. It is great. It's a very, very positive thing to say, I want to look better, I want to eat better, it's healthy for you, it's great for you. But make sure you do it from a place of self-love, self-acceptance, self-validation, and gratitude, and see then how your behavior will follow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you. I hope you will now go and start loving yourself, accepting yourself, validating yourself, and fight from a place of gratefulness and fight from a place of victory. And I know and I believe you can overcome what you need to overcome. From Mind Prosperity, we love you, and we will see you soon again next week in our second video on Reinvent Your Body. Goodbye.